Welcome to another Inside Lansing, where today's guest is the Mayor of Lansing, Mayor Patty Eidam. Mayor, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Neil.
And let's just start right in on the questions. Let's get to, you've been in the office for 2 years now. This is your second, you're going into your third year now. How's the 2 years been?
It's been amazing, Neil. I'm very pleased to go to sleep each night knowing that we're doing everything possible to make sure that our Lansing residents are happy, that they feel safe, and that they're proud to live here. This administration has worked very hard to secure budgeting for things such as street resurfacing, sidewalk repair, and removal of dead trees on our parkway. We've been very successful in bringing new businesses to Lansing and also helping established businesses remodel, expand, or improve their services.
So you're looking at good quality of life upgrades here.
We are. It's very important to us. And although we have new challenges each day, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished so far, Neil.
And speaking of accomplishments, one that we got to finally see the fruits of this summer was Fox Pointe. Can we talk a little bit about it? It had its first season. How did the first season go for you guys?
Well, on a very personal level, my husband Bud and I had a wonderful time at Fox Pointe this summer.
I saw you guys out there like every time we were out there, you were always out there.
We didn't miss much. It was great. And I think hundreds of our Lansing residents would agree with us, Neil, that it was just a great time. I think the Pointe brought a new sense of community pride to our village. We saw neighbors getting reacquainted. We saw families gathering at the Pointe, even though some of them may have moved away. So it was just an exciting summer for us. And by the way, Neil, I want to congratulate you and your staff for your excellent programming that you provided to our village over the summer on our events there.
Thank you very much.
It was an amazing season. I hope our residents understand that this first season was a learning experience for all of us. Our Public Works Department, our Fire Department, Police Department, and the ladies in our Finance Department worked very hard with so many on our staff to make sure that this first season was as successful as it was.
And it was very successful. I got to see some of the behind the scenes as well, working in the village here. So I knew that it was busy and people were really trying their best to make the best of it. And I thought it was great. And now we've come close to the end of the first season. I know we still have like Autumn Fest coming up there, but after all of that is done, what can residents look forward to with Fox Pointe over the next year?
We hope to bring back the free Wednesday night concerts with some additional programming that is non-musical, such as the hugely successful tailgate party we hosted a few weeks ago. I know that our residents are looking for new and exciting events at Fox Pointe, and we will provide them. For instance, I have a special event that my staff is helping me bring together for hopefully July of 2020, and I'm not going to give away the surprise. We'll talk about more on that at a later date.
All right, no surprises here.
In addition to Autumn Fest in October, we still have the Christmas tree lighting and Santa's arrival in December. And Santa will be welcoming the children to Santa House as he did last year. And something new this year, Fox Pointe proper will be decorated for the holidays as well for the enjoyment of our residents.
Really? So what are you gonna get up there, put the garland up, help with all that?
I think we may have some help with Public Works on that.
Yes, they're always out there getting the decorations up, so I'm glad we can always put a shout out to them for helping out. So also, are there any renovations that we should be looking forward to there?
Lansing residents may notice that right now we're finishing up on the fence that goes around Fox Pointe, and there will be progress being made over the late fall and winter months. We are planning some modifications to the concession building to make it a better fit for our staff, our volunteers, and our food vendors.
Now, we're on the topic of renovations, so I'm going to move on to another key piece of the village, but one of our important streets, Wentworth. And in 2020, I can't believe I'm saying 2020 already, but in 2020, we can expect some work over there?
Yes, this is a huge project, Neil. So Wentworth Avenue will be resurfaced from Ridge Road North all the way to the expressway. And the traffic pattern will change from 4 lanes to 3 lanes, with the center lane being used as a turning lane for both directions. So right now we are making sure of the placement of the crosswalks to ensure that the children going back and forth to school are doing it in the safest locations. So
this is really a safety thing.
it is, and both for the new traffic pattern and making sure that the crosswalks are in the right place. We even consulted with some of our crossing guards for that, and the schools, of course. By the way, Neil, this project is funded through a grant award that we got through South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association. We're very thankful for it.
Okay, all right, well, that's great. And we got other things looking forward to. Some things that happened in town recently that people might have noticed is that there were some houses being torn down, some old abandoned houses. What happened with that?
It's very good news for us, Neil. Over the last 2 years, the Village of Lansing has gotten over $500,000 in grants through the Illinois Housing Department Authority to secure and demolish 9 homes throughout Lansing. So the demolition of these homes will not only improve our property values, but they'll bring a new, better look to our neighborhoods. It's exciting news for us, and again, another grant.
Yeah, I know. And some people, you hear demolish and they're like, well, wait a minute. But that's a good thing because it allows for, as you said, property homes to go on the rise and just a better look of the village.
It is. It's huge news for us. That demolition is already in progress. 2 homes have already been demolished.
Okay. So moving on from demolitions, let's move into some new additions to town, such as the restaurant Outriggers. Could you talk about that?
Outrigger's restaurant is going to be opening over on Torrance Avenue very soon. And it's also good to know that businesses like Trost comes to mind. They're going to be expanding their hours and their services.
Oh, that's great. That's great for the town.
It
Everybody
is.
loves going over to the Trost. I go over there all the time.
It is.
So we've had a lot to talk about here today. And I think one of the big topics that we haven't touched on yet is the census. Maybe you could tell residents a little bit about that so they know what to look for that.
Well, Neil, I am determined as the mayor of Lansing to make sure that our residents are educated and encouraged to participate in the 2020 census. We're working very hard at it. Our very own Cook County Commissioner, Stanley Moore, is also the Cook County chairman of the Census Bureau there. And so we're working closely with his office and the offices of the Census Bureau on the state level to ensure that we have a complete count for Lansing. I've asked our village clerk, Vivian Payne, to spearhead Lansing's own census committee, and she stepped right up to that task. So I'm hoping that between her committee and hopefully our Human Relations Commission, we can reach the hard-to-count residents in our village. The village is working right now on a resolution that our board will have a look at and hopefully pass that will show our commitment to a complete count for the Village of Lansing 2020 census.
So with the census, can it be hard to count people in this? And why is this even important?
The 2020 census is so important for our village, and of course on a national level, but bringing it right back to our little community. A good example, Neil, is that for every person in the Village of Lansing that does not get counted, the village could lose between 14,000 and 18,000 over a period of 10 years, which would be up until the 2030 census. So it's extremely important. Lansing actually did pretty well on the 2010 census, but I think we can do much better on this 2020 count. The hard-to-count residents are some of the folks at the top of our list. The Census Bureau at the national level will be changing a lot on how they try to count every resident in the entire United States. For instance, a lot of the answers they're going to be asking for online. So some of the people at the top of our hard-to-count residents are those that may not have a computer at home. Right. We can educate them on the fact that they can go to the library. The library is going to have special computers set up just for the 2020 census.
Really?
Other hard to count residents that may be difficult to talk about may be somebody that's related to someone that may be undocumented. It may be as simple as a documented citizen that doesn't speak English and they're afraid. It could be as simple as someone that might be over 70 years old that thinks that if they're counted, they're going to get called for jury duty. So that's where the education part of it comes in. We need to educate our residents on how important this 2020 complete count is just for our village.
We've had a lot to talk about today, and I'm glad to have you on the show. Maybe one last thing I could just ask you is, what do you love about being the mayor of Lansing?
I'm absolutely in love with Lansing, Neil. I have been for almost 40 years now. It still has a little hometown community feel. I love all the new things that have happened around Lansing in the last 4 or 5 years. The History Plaza is such an addition to our main intersection of Ridge and Burnham. I love the way that our volunteer groups step up whenever there's something, a need for something. I love the way our departments work together, and I'm very happy how this administration has been able to improve the camaraderie between our departments. I love the way our neighborhoods are set out, and that there's probably a house in the price range of just about anyone that wants to come to Lansing. So it's a happy place for me to be. I'm blessed that I'm a resident here, and I'm planning on living the rest of my life here.
Well, we plan on having more shows with you and seeing you around more often. Thank you again for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Neil. I appreciate it.
And thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of our content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.